I love you without knowing how, or when, or where. I love you simply without problem or pride. I love you in this way because I don't know any other way. That is Love Sonnet 17. I love this poem because it captures our love in just a few short sentences. Loving you has been the greatest adventure of my life. You have shown me how kind, selfless, and generous a person can be. You are the funniest and most difficult person I've ever known.
Damn straight.
Sorry.
Okay.
You keep me on my toes, and you constantly challenge me. No matter how difficult I can get, you always manage to see the good in me, even when I get self-conscious, like you know I always do. You love me in your way. You love me by staying up late, making sure I get home every night. You drive to come get me when the days have beaten me to the ground, ready to listen. You love me by learning to cook when life got crazy, so I'd have a home-cooked meal to come home to after a long day. You love me with surprise cookies and always knowing when it's a hug I need or a stiff drink. I get butterflies when I think ahead to our future. The amazing food and alcohol we will experience together. The endless sports games I will enjoy watching you watch. And all the in-depth and very, very serious conversations I will have with our cats. Since you drew me that pretty okay dinosaur on our first date, you had me. You've spent our crazy 6.5 years always putting me first. But I promise that I will spend the rest of my life happily trying to repay you for that. You are my best friend, and I love you harder than a nice, hot, dark roast cup of coffee. And just one more thing to end on. The last digit's 9.
They say you're the most honest when you're drunk, so that's when I decided to write most of this. I remember the first time I tried to talk to you. Being the smooth operator that I am, I awkwardly asked you about the operation you had on your hand for your allergies. And it's frankly stunning we're getting married now, because I think that's the only conversation we had before I asked you out on our first date. We've been through a lot in almost 6.5 years, and for whatever reason, you decided to stay with me. You see me during finals week and Bears games, and yet you're still here. It was challenging to keep my list short on why I want to marry you, but here it goes. It's because I get more excited about your accomplishments than mine. You're the first person I want to call for the good news and the bad. I get excited for you to come home smelling like the kitchen. And frankly, just you having fun is enough for me to have fun. I think it's funny that a lot of times you wish you were less like yourself, because I often find myself wishing I was more like you. I wish I laughed more, smiled more, and lived in the moment more like you do. Thanks for helping me become a better cook, both made a reference, being my #1 fan, and looking out for my waistline by never making me any desserts.
Wow.
I promise I'll always strive to be a better man for you, if you promise to try not to make us late for everywhere in the future. I love you, Bridge.
I love you.
Take this time to talk about who you two became these past 6.5 years, because who you became influenced so much of who I became. Today is about celebrating how you've changed as a couple with all the people around you that you love. I hope you can take some time today to look at those faces and see how much they've changed as well because of you two. We love you both, and we're excited to see how much you'll continue to inspire us. Cheers to bride and groom.
Love is patient, love is kind. Living with Bridget is like losing your mind. So even though you've been with her for over 5 years, Kyle, let me give you some advice to save you some tears. For the rest of your lives, you'll always be late. Congratulations on being on time today, by the way. And I'm sorry to say there's no changing your fate. Despite some of her flaws, she's really quite funny, but she also won't mind spending all of your money. Unfortunately, there are times when Bridget gets sassy. She swears like a sailor, but can still be classy. You know it's true. She's been this way her entire life, but would you really want anyone else as your wife? There's no one quite as superb as my sister. Oh no. Inside joke, I'm not allowed to share why. Kyle, you are one lucky mister. To Bridget, I can't picture you with another. And to Kyle, I'm so happy I now get to call you my brother.